I was walking through downtown Denver while taking a few days of personal vacation this past summer, I came across a building with an inscription that caught my attention. It reads, "What is the city but the people?" These words, borrowed from Shakespeare, speak volumes. It is a simple phrase that is a reminder that the heart of any city, any community, any nation lies in the people who live there and work there and thrive there. So as I stand before you on this day of Yom Kippur and in the shadow of the anniversary of October 7th, I ask, considering what has transpired during this past year, who are we? Where do we go from here? And what does our future hold? In today's Torah portion, we just learned to see ourselves as if we were at Sinai. We were there. We are one with our people through 5,000 years of Jewish history. On Yom Kippur, we read the words, Atem nitzavim. You are standing there. We are Am Yisrael. We are the people of Israel. So in the spirit of that engraving in Colorado, it is clear. What is Israel but us, the people of Israel? Israel, though, is not just a place on a map or a collection of borders. It is the living embodiment of Jewish hope, resiliency, and strength. It is our people who wake up each day, carry out our lives, and build a future despite the challenges we face. And over the past 12 months, this reality has been brought into sharp focus. Despite everything, the people of Israel live. Am Yisrael Chai. That concept is captured in a poem that I recently came across. It speaks of how, even under the shadow of existential threat, for people living in the state of Israel, life goes on. An entire country can have terrifying, looming threats of annihilation over our heads, and nothing truly stops. Not much changes. Work needs to be worked, food needs to be shopped, dinner needs to be made, carpool needs to be driven. These are the rhythms of everyday life. And in Israel, these patterns persist even when the unthinkable lurks on the horizon. People go to work, pick up their children, make Shabbat plans, all while knowing danger is never far away. That is the personality of Israel. But that attitude isn't just a reflection of Israel's strength. It is the story of the Jewish people throughout history. Just last week, within 12 hours of an Iranian ballistic missile attack, the buses of Tel Aviv began running again. Grocery stores reopened. Life returned to the cities in Israel. And we, the Jewish people, have always lived with that sense of resilience. We have been exiled, oppressed, threatened with annihilation more times than we can count, and yet time and time again, we rise up, we rebuild, we live. And now, after the painful events of October 7th, we are reminded once again of the strength and determination of our people. The poem continues. There is so much beauty here. Holiness here, optimism here, innovation here, wonder here, hope here. This is what it means to be part of Am Yisrael. This is the strength of our people to find hope and beauty even in the darkest of times. So how do they do it? Well, let me introduce you today to a few of the everyday heroes. People who represent the spirit of Am Yisrael. These are just regular people who continue to live and to work and to build despite the challenges surrounding them. We begin with an Israeli soldier. Talia is a young woman who, like so many others, has been called to serve her country at the age of 18. She is standing here guard at the border of Gaza, knowing that any moment could bring new threats. She remains vigilant and strong. Talia is not only defending a nation, she's protecting her family, her home, and the future of the Jewish people. She is Am Yisrael. Next, meet Itai, a first responder on the front lines in Israel. In times of crisis, he provides care and comfort. He knows that every soul he saves is part of that which makes up our people. His courage is quiet and powerful, offering hope in moments of fear. Itai reminds us that in Israel, every life is sacred. He is Am Yisrael. This is Miri Gold. Born here in Detroit, she made Aliyah to Israel and became the first non-Orthodox rabbi to be funded by the government. A pioneering force in the Jewish world, she paves the way for expressions of a diverse Judaism. The depth of her faith leads all the way back to Moses, and she is a reminder that the strength of the Jewish people not only lies in resilience against external challenges, but also in the preservation of our spiritual identity. She, too, is Am Yisrael. And there are others as well, outside of the Jewish community, who support the existence of our people. Consider these Arab and Jewish shopkeepers in one of Israel's bustling markets. Day after day, they open their stalls selling fresh produce to customers of all backgrounds, Jews, Arabs, tourists, and locals alike. They are part of the vibrant tapestry that makes up Israeli society. Through their work, these merchants foster connections and coexistence, for they are sustaining the vision of Am Yisrael. And here's my friend Benny. He is a tour guide and travel entrepreneur that many of you know. His superpower is in telling the stories of Israel. Walking in the footsteps of our ancestors with tourists from around the globe, he brings alive an ancient history, making it relevant today. He is the modern voice of our past and the keeper of tomorrow. He is Am Yisrael. David is a kibbutznik, a farmer who rises before dawn to tend the land. He sows and harvests in the fields, knowing that this land has been cultivated by generations of Jews before him. He is living out Ben-Gurion's vision to turn the desert green. He feeds the soul of our people. He is Am Yisrael. And finally, let me introduce you to Agam. Agam is a budding musician, a free spirit, the future of Israeli culture because of her passion for the world. Here is Agam today. She should be sitting in one of these 101 chairs reserved in our sanctuary. So let us not forget also those who have been taken from their homes and held captive. Consider all of the hostages who have endured the unthinkable. They're held by enemies who seek to break their spirit, and yet, through it all, we pray that some of them may have survived, holding on to hope, to their identities, to their love for their families and their people. Bring them home now, for they are Am Yisrael. These are just a few of the faces of the people who proudly define themselves as part of our Zionist dream. We are European, Middle Eastern, Ethiopian, American, rich, poor, older, younger, white, black, and brown. We are Am Yisrael. So in the spirit of their example, I ask here in Michigan, far from the borders of Israel, what can we do to be a part of this incredible story? Because here at Temple Israel, we stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Israel. We continue to offer our support through donations and advocacy, and simply by wearing proudly our Jewish stars as a sign of commitment to our people. On this sacred day, I ask us all to keep Israel in our hearts and minds, recognizing that her resilience reflects our collective strength. Even from afar, we are connected to the people in Israel. Their story is our story. Their future is our future. And I remind you that that strength starts not only in Israel, but here in smaller communities, within our families, in this synagogue. Because what is a Jewish family but the members of a family? What is our synagogue? What is Temple Israel but the members of Temple Israel? When the community gathers, as we have today for Yom Kippur, or 3,000 strong last Monday night at the October 7th commemoration at Shaarei Zedek, we stand up for what we believe in. When anti-Semitic flyers are dropped on the driveways of our community by hateful members of the Goyim Defense League, we stand up. And how do we do it? By coming next Monday to Temple Israel, to this sanctuary, to hear the insight of Jonathan Greenblatt, the CEO of the Anti-Defamation League. That's how we stand up, and you will each be receiving in your hands a flyer as you leave today, giving you instructions of how to register for that very important program. Or, when a member of our local Bloomfield Township Board of Trustees shares vile anti-Semitic rhetoric on her social media, we stand up by speaking out against that kind of hate, because we are the people of Israel. And what is Am Yisrael but us? It is we who make the Jewish people strong. It is our people here and in Israel who carry our Jewish spirit forward. And it is Israel itself who reminds us that even in the face of danger, there is still beauty, holiness, and hope. Remember, in the Torah portion that we just heard, Atem nitzavim, you are standing here today. We stand with 5,000 years of Jewish life and tradition, and we stand with Israel because we stand as Am Yisrael. On this Yom Kippur, as we reflect on a past year and prepare for the year ahead, let us remember that our strength comes from being part of the Jewish people. So let us remain in solidarity with Israel, in commitment to our own local Jewish families, and in dedication to this synagogue. Let us never forget that the heart of our people, our community, and our nation is not in a building or a border. It is in us, Am Yisrael. Gemar Chatima Tova.